Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
And welcome to the show, guys. This is the How Did They Grow podcast, and today we have on Ken Gold. Ken, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just jump right in. Tell us about yourself. All right, so I'm Ken Goldie. I live in Los Angeles, California. I am an executive coach, leadership development coach. I travel around the country talking to CEOs and business owners about how they can be more effective in their leadership, more effective in their communication, and basically grow themselves as people, and through growing themselves as people, grow their businesses as well. And I have a lot of fun doing it. So thanks for having me.
Amazing. How long have you been in the, let's say, coaching industry?
I've been doing about 5. Go ahead.
No, I said, obviously you had a different career path early on. So just tell us about that and how that evolved.
I did. I'll give you a little bit of background. So I spent my life as a filmmaker. I grew up wanting to be a writer and loved movies. And I did the first 25 years of my career. I know, amazing. I look incredible. First 25 years of my career as a filmmaker here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. I've written novels and I've written movies. I did an adaptation of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds for Universal Pictures that's in post-production with Ice Cube and Eva Longoria. I wrote a movie called The Job with Daryl Hannah. And I directed a movie called Uncross the Stars with Academy Award nominee Barbara Hershey and Golden Globe winner Ron Perlman. You can see that on Tubi. I think you can see Uncross the Stars or The Job on Netflix. I wrote a movie called Walking with the Enemy that stars Academy Award winner Ben Kingsley. That movie's available everywhere. I've adapted the works of Isaac Asimov and Richard Morgan. I just had an amazing career. I wish I could throw photos up for you. I mean, I've worked with movie stars and traveled the world and worked with incredibly talented cinematographers and production designers and editors. I just had an extraordinary, amazing, dream come true career as a filmmaker and a screenwriter in Hollywood for a quarter of a century. Just top to bottom, what anybody would want out of Hollywood, I had. And then around 10, 12 years ago, this company you may have heard of called Netflix started streaming movies and sort of really changed the business. And Disney became Disney Plus and Paramount became Paramount Plus, and a lot of the business models of Hollywood that we as film producers really relied on to make the filmmaking business a business had the rug pulled out from under them, which happens in lots of industries. Digital happened to Kodak and Uber happened to taxi drivers, and you can go through history looking at industries that changed because some technology changed it, and Netflix really changed the movie industry. Changed how movies get made and how movies get viewed and how movies get scored and how we sort of mark what a successful movie is. And it changed how we get paid in the movie business, and all of it just upended over the last 12 or 15 years, which we weathered, and I still loved it and was for a long time was still writing. And then a lot of other stuff started to happen. COVID and a Writers Guild strike and other movie industry details that really don't matter. I just got to the point where I felt like the movie business was not going to be as fun or productive or lucrative for me from ages 50 to 75 as it was from ages 25 to 50. I decided it was time to change careers, kind of make movie making more of a hobby. And I still do it as a hobby, but not the full-time, everyday wake up, go pitch a movie in Hollywood, win the Hollywood lottery to make a living that I did for 25 years, do something different with my life. And I was looking around for what to do. I didn't really have, a resume in the corporate world to say, come hire me. I'd been a screenwriter and a film director for 25 years. But the one skill that I had that I felt really translated well from filmmaking into other arenas was coaching, because really a film director is a coach. I learned early on in my film directing career that everybody on set did what they did better than I could. The set decorator was a way better set decorator than I ever would be. The cinematographer knew how to light sets and operate a camera. I didn't go to film school for lighting sets and operating cameras. I wasn't a performer. I wasn't a costume designer. I didn't know how to plug the cables into a generator. Like, everybody on my crew did their job way better than I ever could. And yet it was still my job as a film director to convey my vision of the film to these people and help them do their jobs even better. And that's really just coaching. My job was to make the people who worked for me, who were incredibly skilled and talented, be even more skilled and talented and grow in their careers to help make my film better and accomplish my vision. So I thought executive coaching would be a great transition. I'd done a lot of kind of side work with people who just came and asked for some help over the years and decided to launch a business. So about 5 years ago, I launched Breakthrough Leadership Training to do exactly that. And it's gone extraordinarily well. Within just a couple of years, I had a public speaking career where I was traveling around the country, meeting CEOs and business owners in like roundtable mastermind groups everywhere. I mean, I've been to Hawaii and Alaska, Arizona, Texas, I can't even count, Minneapolis, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Philadelphia. I'm off to New York next week for a couple of days and then straight to Dallas. I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, Nebraska, Ohio. I'm all over the country, meeting business owners everywhere from $10 million mom and pop businesses to $500 million, 400-person government contracting companies, IT, financial services, family plumbing companies, clothing design. I mean, you name it. I've met business owners and CEOs in almost every industry you can think of, at almost every level you can think of. And I find that the same issues of leadership that I came across in my film directing career apply to everyone, that they are all people whose job it is to come up with a vision and then help people who ideally do what they do better than the CEO can do their job even better to accomplish that vision. So I've really had a fantastic time sharing the lessons of leadership that I learned as a filmmaker and a lot of the stories that I have that can be very entertaining about filmmaking with people in every industry to help them be even better at what they do.
Amazing. I think that's an amazing story and an amazing journey. Let me ask, how has that transitioned into, like, right now, obviously you do coaching. Do you, looking in the future, what is your are you narrowing down your coaching?
No, I'm actually expanding my coaching. So all the coaching that I do right now is one-to-one executive coaching. It's high ticket coaching. I'm fortunate enough, I can charge many thousands of dollars for somebody to work with me one-to-one. I do team trainings where I fly around the country and I meet with leadership teams, production teams, management teams, sales teams in person. And I do like single day, double day, weekend trainings with them to help them with the leadership skills in the format that I do, which I'll share with you in a second. And I also do team courses where I'll embed with a company for 6 months and work with their management team to really practice and build the muscle of the skills that help them communicate better to accomplish results that they hadn't been able to in the past. But that's all been kind of hired by companies to do direct coaching in either individual or small team cohort. And what I started to realize going back about a year was that your lights are flickering again. You're on.
Yeah.
Going back about a year, I started to realize that I was limiting myself in two ways. I was only able to serve clients who could afford high ticket coaching, which was mostly companies at that point. And I was only able to reach the number of people that I could physically be in front of personally to reach, either through my public speaking or with the companies and the clients that hired me. And I wanted to both reach far more people than I was able to directly myself, and also include many more people into the program that I've developed than those that I can deliver to directly. So I've created a scalable version of my program. So my program is called the FAST Way. We talked about it a little bit in our prep call the other day. FAST is an acronym, stands for feelings, actions, speech, and thought. The actual full name is the FAST Way, defining your feelings, actions, speech, and thoughts to express yourself for ultimate success. To me, ultimate success is success in all areas of your life. It's financial success, career success, home success, relationship success, health, travel, lifestyle, all of it. When you are experiencing joy and fulfillment in every arena of your life, that's what I call ultimate success. What I started to notice with people in all arenas of life, film sets and every other business and wherever you are, is that people have a certain way of what I say, thinking, feeling, speaking, and acting. We call it your identity. We call it your personality. We call it you. You think and feel and speak and act in certain ways. And the way you think and feel and speak and act about yourself and the world and your cultural background and your religion and your education and your experience and your politics, all of that forms your personality, your identity, and you do it differently than I do it. And I do it differently than the guy next to me. And everybody does it differently. And the way that any of us thinks, feels, speaks, and acts, when that pattern, what I call the FAST Way engine, feelings, action, speech, and thought, is working for you, when it's creating success in a particular area of your life, that's great. I mean, I definitely love the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But most human beings are not experiencing ultimate success. They're not creating the same level of success or consistent success in all arenas of their life. And in fact, many people are suffering from real disappointment in a lot of arenas of their life. They may be rich, but they're very unhealthy. Or they may be exercising and taking care of themselves, but their relationships are always failing. Or they may have a great relationship, but they're not able to put time into their career or build money. Or they're making money, but they're not able to take time to go on vacation and enjoy their lifestyle. And what people tend to do is they think, well, the way I am, my personality, my identity, the way in my vernacular, the way I think, feel, speak, and act, if that's working over here, it should work over here also. So they keep applying that same way of being to every arena of their life. But evidence proves to us that it doesn't work that way. If the way you're being isn't creating success in any particular area of your life, continuing to be that way is not going to change anything. If you want to create success in an arena of your life that the way you're currently being hasn't created success in, you have to develop a new way of being. And that's where the FAST Way comes along and says, that thing that you call your identity, your personality, a lot of people don't like hearing this, but it's 100% true. It's a fiction. You made you up, Mike. You made you up based on how you experienced your life. You were born and you grew up and you had your family and your friends and sports and dating and religion and activities and business. You had all those things happen to you. And as those things happened to you, you developed a certain way of thinking about those things as they were happening to you, and a certain way of thinking, feeling about those things as they were happening to you. And all of that intellectual and psychological assessment that you put on top of the events of your life, that's what becomes a personality. When somebody says, I like sushi or I like steak, they hold on to it. That's just who I am. But it's only who you are because you created yourself to be that way. And I come along to people and I say, you're not a fixed thing. You don't have to hold on tightly to your identity forever and say, this is just the way I am, and be frustrated and struggle with the areas of your life that aren't working. You can say, the way I am is not creating success in those areas of my life. So if I can change the way I am, if I can change the way I think and feel and speak and act, and that new way of thinking, feeling, speaking, and act creates more success for me in that arena of life, then great. Now you've filled another bucket. And then go create a new way of being in another area of life, and go create fill another bucket, and then have fun with it. I can be this way here and this way there and change. We are not fixed identities any more than we determine that we are. And the extent that we acknowledge that we created our own selves and give ourselves the authority and the God-given power to create yourself however you want to create yourself, to create the success that you want to have, so you can have joy and fulfillment and ultimate success in all arenas of your life. That's what the FAST Way provides. And the scalable version that I'm doing of it now is I've created a video course so that somebody who signs up for the video course gets the exact same learning, the exact same tools, the exact same methodology that I've now provided so successfully to 10 and $100 million corporations. Anybody out there can now do it because they can easily afford the video course. And the video course, I think I mentioned this the other day. I read a lot of leadership development books. I love the field. I love the theory. I love everybody from Stephen Covey to Tony Robbins to Zig Ziglar to Ed Milet to Grant Cardone to Jim Collins, to all of them. I love these guys. I read their books and I get to the end of it and I go, that's amazing. That was like so interesting. And then I turn the last page and the book's over and I go, but how do you do it? Like, what's the application? What's the method? I created the Fast Way to be a method, a repeatable, practicable methodology so that you can actually finish the program and do it in an arena of your life and see the transformation. The videos are short. They're 5-7 minutes long. You don't have to watch 45-minute videos. Watch a video on a Monday morning, and it comes with a worksheet. And for 2 or 3 days, you do that worksheet and you take in the learning. And then on Friday, you watch another video and you do the worksheet over weekend and you take in that learning. And over 2 months, the promise of the video course is that you experience the same transformation that you do when you work with me directly. And then as a bonus, I offer the opportunity to work with me or one of my Fastway coaches directly in group online coaching. So instead of my one-to-one coaching, which is expensive, or my cohort coaching for companies, which is expensive and limits my ability to reach more people because it's just 5-10 people on a call at a time. I have group online coaching, hundreds, 1,000 people enrolled in the course. We break it up into cohorts, 25, 30 people in a cohort. We make it super affordable, a couple of $100 a month to come in and get access to the same coaching that companies are paying tens of thousands of dollars for. So I've really now created this program that can go out to thousands and tens of thousands of people anywhere in the world, any country, any time zone, can watch the videos, come onto our calls, and get the same transformation that the Fast Way promises to the executive coaches that I've managed to help with it so much. And I'm really super excited to expand and scale that side of the business.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video because that chat might just change your life.
Amazing. Amazing. I think everything you said is amazing, from the fast method, from the books you read, and you seeing that, okay, what do I do? Then you created your own thing to be like a sort of actionable method, an actionable system that you can take to reach your goals. And you saying you want to reach more people. That's amazing. And I think it's kind of a great way to segue into social media and how you are going to spread that message out there.
Yeah, I love social media. I mean, I like to talk. I'm not necessarily an actor. I've never been an actor, but I've been around media and in media so long that cameras and lights and scripts and angles and just kind of being comfortable in front of a camera is something that I've been around for 30 years. So I enjoy it. I remember it was maybe a year and a half ago that I started getting onto TikTok, and I had a blast. And, I watched a lot of TikTok videos, and look, I'm not the make a funny video, keep people around for 30 minutes where some woman is pregnant and doesn't know that her fiance is behind her with flowers and for some reason can't tell that he's standing behind her for 30 minutes while she's talking on a friend. Like, all those videos I find crazy. But I get onto TikTok and I talk about life. I talk about learning. I talk about lessons. I talk about leadership, all of the tools that I put into the Fast Way in my coaching. Whenever I'm on with a client, I'll be on with a client who does 50 million a year, and we'll be talking and we'll say something and I'll go, oh, that's amazing. And then I'll go on TikTok and I'll make a video about it. Like, I was on with a client recently. We were talking about the difference between people who are very, very shy at work and people who are overly aggressive at work. And this particular client was saying, I'm calm. I'm in the middle. I like to just meet everybody, in the middle. But then I have some employees who I've hired who are very, very shy and they won't speak up. And I don't get it because I pay them a lot of money to speak up and they won't speak up and I don't understand why. And then I'll have other people come in and they just bark all day long and they drive everybody away. And I said to my client, do you know they have the same problem? And he's like, what do you mean they have the same problem? I got the same problem. Whether you're very, very shy or overly barking, it both comes from insecurity. And he says, what do you mean? How does an overly aggressive in your face person, how's that insecure? I said, it's insecure because the reason they're overly aggressive in your face is because they want to shut people down. They don't want people to challenge them. They're sending out the message of don't challenge me, don't talk back to me, don't question me. But instead of saying, don't talk to me, don't question me, by going like this and saying, oh, hi, I'm here, I have an idea. And everyone's just not going to challenge them and not talk to them because they're so quiet. They're not asking for the stage. The bully, the aggressor, is up there knocking everybody else off the stage because he doesn't know how to share the stage. They're both insecure. So I had that conversation with my client and then made that TikTok video and threw it on TikTok. So I started making TikTok videos, and then TikTok's great because you can just send it off to Facebook and send it off to Instagram and, post it everywhere else. So I started posting them on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And I sort of established my presence across multiple platforms. I'm not here saying I'm like a Kardashian on these social media platforms. You're not going to go to my site and see 40 million followers, mainly because there aren't 40 million people in the world who want this kind of learning with the same way that 40 million people want the kind of gossip that comes out of the pages that get 40 million followers. Yeah. So I don't aspire to have 40 million followers, but I do aspire to have 40,000 followers. I'll take 1% of them. If I can find 40,000 people around the world out of 8 billion people who are 100% serious, like to their core, I am willing to change anything serious in order to have the financial success they want to have, the health they want to have, the relationship they want to have, the lifestyle they want to have, the career that they want to have. And they're willing to cast their belief system about themselves aside. If they're willing to say, everything I think I know about myself, I made up and I can change. If they can get rid of the, I have to be quiet so people won't think I'm too pushy, get rid of that. If they can get rid of the, I have to be aggressive so people don't challenge me, get rid of that. If they can get rid of the, I'm only capable of making a certain amount of money a year because that's all my parents made, get rid of that. If they're willing to get rid of all of those belief systems about themselves and come to the fast way and open themselves up to learning more about themselves, those are the people who I want to find me on TikTok and Instagram. Email me at ken@breakthroughleadershiptraining.com. Go to livethefastway.com. Those are the people that I want to reach on social media, because those are the people that I want to come to the end of my days saying I helped tens of thousands of other people transform their lives and achieve the success that they want. And so the new model of the fast way isn't me getting on a plane to fly across the country to speak to 25 people in a room. It can't be. I'm not going to meet 50, 100. I'm not going to meet the 5 million people I need to meet to get 50,000 people to join the fast way. I can't do that in person. You can put me on as many stages as you want. I can't meet 50,000 people a month to get them into the fast way. I have to do that over social. So I'm right now, love meeting you, learning how to get into advertising. I've started to pay for advertising on Google, on Facebook, on TikTok, and really kind of learn that system myself. I mean, this is me taking my own coaching. You would never hear me say, oh, I don't know how to advertise on social, therefore I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick with talking on stages. That would be me not living the fast way. You would never hear me. Exactly. You would never hear me say, well, I'm really good speaking to rooms of 25 CEOs, but I can't speak on a stage in front of 1,000 people. You'd never hear me say that. I hire my own coaches. I just hired my own public speaking coach to advance my career from speaking to CEO rooms of 25 people to stages with 1,000 people, because the fast way is, yes, I can go to learn that new thing. So I'm now looking at social media saying, that is the road that I know I have to go if I want to meet 5 million people so that 50,000 of them join the fast way. And I'm super excited to launch into that world. I know people have been mastering that ever-changing world. I know the people who mastered it in 2012 were shaving their heads and joining ashrams in 2017 because like everything changed. And the people who mastered it in 2017 were, dropping off the face of the earth in 2020 when COVID hit because everything changed. And every 6 months, everything in social changes. And I'm all on board for that wonderful ride because social is the way to build large-scale followings. And I want the fast way to reach everybody in the world.
Amazing. I love that you say that because, I like, because I speak to a lot of coaches, right? A lot of coaches, like, I like to use the term graduate. They graduate to a point where it's not necessarily about the money anymore. Obviously, a five-figure monthly paycheck is good, right? A six-figure monthly paycheck is good. But it becomes something that they've made enough money that it's, hey, what do I want to leave? What is my message? Who am I reaching? So let me ask you, what does that mean to you to be able to help? Let's use the arbitrary number that you used, 40,000 people. What does it mean to you?
Oh my gosh. So, let's take it back to filmmaking. So filmmaking is storytelling, but really filmmaking, the best filmmaking, not like cheap filmmaking or bad filmmaking but the best filmmaking is about helping people feel emotions that they don't normally let themselves feel. People don't go into their everyday life crying, but they go to a tearjerker and they want to sit in that tearjerker and cry. People don't go into their everyday life saying, make me feel afraid, but they'll go into a horror film because there's this trust in a movie theater or in your living room with a filmmaker that you're giving the filmmaker to let you feel afraid for a little while. And the trust is when the filmmaker says, I'm going to make you feel afraid and doesn't, you feel like the filmmaker let you down. When the movie says, I'm going to make you feel romantic and doesn't, or I'm going to make you feel excited in a thriller and doesn't, you feel let down. The filmmaker's job is to deliver the promise that you are going to feel the emotion that you signed up for. Film viewing is not an intellectual experience. You can watch the coolest thriller in the world, like Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, every little clue put together, click, click, tock, tock. Amazing. But if it doesn't make you feel like Tom Hanks is in danger, or it doesn't make you feel happy at the end that he's succeeded, the film has failed. Filmmaking is an emotional journey, and so's life. Life is an emotional journey. And you got to imagine, it's funny. I go into a lot of business rooms and I meet a lot of business executives who say, I'm not really an emotion guy, right? You're kind of taught to not feel emotion when you go into the business environment. But that's not exactly true. It's sort of a misnomer. We're taught to not show emotion, and we're taught to not show certain emotions. You don't want to show vulnerability. You don't want to show pain. You don't want to show anger. You don't want to cry. But those are a drop in the ocean when it comes to the emotions that human beings feel. We want to feel joy. We want to feel happiness. We want to feel excitement. We want to feel a challenge. We want to feel vigorous. We want to feel victorious. We want to feel all that in the work world. So to say, I don't want to feel emotion, it's just not true. We're just programmed to not show and feel a certain very, very small range of emotion in the work world. Everything else is fair game. And that's life. You don't want to date someone for 5 years and not be in love and never smile and never be happy or never argue and never be disappointed and just be monotone for your whole relationship. That's not a relationship. You don't want to go launch a business and just be monotone. Hey, yeah, work was really fun today. I made $1 million. Who cares if you make $1 million if it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
Life is about emotion. And the fast way comes along to people and I say, yes, I want you to make a ton of money. You get one go round on this earth. The model that modern humanity has developed is that financial resources allow you to do more, to have more experience. So yeah, go make a ton of money so you can travel and have more experiences. Yes, yes, I want you to go have relationships. Yes, I want you to have kids and families and go travel with them. Yes, I want you to build a business or sell your business or get the career that you always wanted. Yes, but when you do it, I want you to enjoy it. I want you to come to the end of your life, not just saying, I did a ton of stuff. I want you to come to the end of your life saying, I did a ton of stuff and I was so happy and so joyful and so sad and so frustrated and so victorious. Life is a roller coaster of emotion, and I want us to feel it to its fullest, because that's what these bodies do. These bodies feel emotion. They touch and they smell and they run and they jump and they hurt and they struggle and they succeed and they feel emotion. You are on this earth not as a wisp of wind or a rock. You're on this earth in a body. And your number one job for the 100 years you get is to enjoy this body on this earth for everything you can. And that's what it means to me. If I can get to the end of my days, not just saying I did that for myself and my kids, but I did that for 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million people, that those people got more out of this life because I made my life about helping them do it. Take me to heaven, man. I'm ready to go.
That's exactly, that's exactly the answer. You just want to be that person. I was speaking to this lady, she told me a German word. You want to be that person that it means, I forgot the word, was something Hobbitleiter, something like that. The person, a journey, a companion, someone you take across that bridge. You meet someone here at point A, and they trust you enough, and you trust yourself enough to be able to take them across that bridge to point B where they want to be. It doesn't get better than that in terms of feelings.
And that's the coaching
Amazing.
Relationship. I earn their trust by trusting myself enough to know that they are safe with me. That's the coaching relationship. And
Amazing.
I love it. It's like taking filmmaking into real life with every client I work with. Amazing.
So kind of break down into the real sauce right now in terms of what's your plan for social media. Kind of break that down for the audience. How are you going to get those? Is 40,000 really, that's the second question. Is 40,000 really the goal, or is it just an arbitrary number? So break those two questions.
Oh, I mean, that's the number that I came up with here. But, if I can have 40,000 people enrolled in the Fastway online program, like that would give me the ability to do whatever I want with the program. I mean, those numbers would allow me to continuously create new video material, continuously expand the number of coaches who are serving people, continuously travel to parts of the world where people need to see me in person to get the in-person experience. At that level, the Fastway becomes an IP branded name, which I trademarked, by the way. The Fastway Feelings, Action, Speech, and Thought is trademarked. I have like 50 copyrights, but it's my first trademark, which I'm very proud of. I envision the Fastway being a brand like the For Dummies brand. There's coding for dummies and real estate for dummies and parenting for dummies. I want to have coding the fast way and real estate the fast way and parenting the fast way and traveling the fast way and all of that. Every expert out there who wants to talk about their field of expertise can put it under the Fastway brand and into the Fastway model to make it actionable for everybody. So they don't go write a book that people get to the end of and say, how do you do it? They put it into the Fastway actionable model, and you can do anything with that. I've already started, in the past, my advertising had been limited to Facebook ads and kind of picture image Facebook ads. So I recently hired a video editor. I mean, part of my job as the CEO of my company is to not do everything myself. 10 years ago, I was creating my own decks. I was creating my own ads. I was writing my own copy. Now I created a video team, and we shot a video and hired an editor and created a video to then now start doing Google ads and YouTube ads. So we're branching into YouTube, and we framed it for Facebook and Instagram. So we're right now starting to budget and launch advertising in the Facebook, Instagram, Google arena with video advertising, and see how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, test it, really.
Okay.
One of the things I've learned along the way is how to test every step. So, for instance, I placed an ad at one point, and it didn't get any clicks. And so somebody's saying to me, well, maybe it's the website. And at that point, I'm smart enough to know, well, I don't know if it's the website or not, because the ad didn't get any clicks. We have to do an ad that gets clicks, and then we can figure out if it's the website. So we changed a couple of ads, and then we got an ad for $50. We got 400 clicks. I'm like, perfect, right? I'll run a $50 ad to get 400 clicks to my website forever if the website converts. But we only got like one conversion out of our 400 clicks. Okay, so now it's the website. And then what do you need to change on the landing page, or whether it's on the phone, on the device, wherever it is, wherever your click sends them to? What is about the landing page experience that isn't getting them to engage? Okay, they engaged, they clicked, and they entered their information, but they didn't make the purchase. What is it about that stage that's getting them to not make the purchase? And then they make the purchase, but they don't follow through. They don't then log into the website. They don't then watch the video, or they don't make the purchase, but you got your email, but your email conversion. We're really being very methodical to look at every step of the process to make sure that the advertising gets the click, that the page that the click takes them to gets the engagement, that the engagement they make gets the conversion that they make gets them to actually engage with the product. And then while they're engaging with the product, that they're demonstrating the value of the product, either through their own social posting, their own referrals, their own testimonials. If you have 10 clients who go through your program and nobody posts about you, nobody gives you a referral, nobody gives you a testimonial, it probably means they didn't have an experience that was valuable enough to them. So there's metrics in what is the engagement that your audience is having while they're going through your program and after they've gone through your program, to demonstrate that your program was received with value. And we're really being very methodical about looking at that whole path, from first eyeball on to click to purchase to engagement to the value they get during the engagement and how they share that value. When all of that is working, that's when you start to really see scale. And we're launching all of that right at the moment.
Amazing. I love hearing people's strategy about how they're growing their social media. The one you mentioned, is amazing. It's kind of different to what we do in terms of what we do is we really focus on nurturing the people. We focus on organic content, getting them to know you. And I was speaking to someone on the podcast as well, and they gave me this analogy, like organic content is like someone watching a movie. So that's relating it to you. It's like someone watching a movie or a series, a TV show, because they keep seeing you, they get familiar with you. And after 2-3 seasons, you see people start to attach themselves to the show, and they say, oh, Game of Thrones, that is my show. Peaky Blinders, that is my show. You know what I mean? So that attachment gets rid of that in terms of that conversion problem. It gets rid of that because these people already have this no trust and like, what's the word? They have this no trust and like factor already. So that gets rid of all that.
I think all that's great. I mean, I'm all of my previous TikTok, Facebook, Instagram postings have all been organic. It's me out there sharing the material, building likes, building followers, building fans. I think that there definitely needs to be a multi-touch aspect to it in today's world. People are all over the place. Look, the ideal model is when your potential customer, or in my case, potential client, sees you in their Instagram feed, but they haven't really clicked on you yet because you haven't broken through the wall. And then they're on a bus and they see somebody sitting next to you, and that person's got you on their feed and they're listening to you. Oh, this person's listening to the thing that I didn't listen to. And then they're sitting somewhere else and they see your book. I mean, the Fastway book is coming out in a couple of months, and somebody's reading your book and they still haven't broken through to go and look you up. And then they're sitting somewhere else and you're on a talk show, you're on a podcast, you're on Good Morning America, and like, oh, this person's really out there. And then they go back to their Instagram feed and they click on you that time. And because they clicked on you, you get in the algorithm and they start seeing more, and they're watching your organic. Maybe they haven't seen even an ad for anything at this point, but just your presence in the world has created an awareness that has got them to be intrigued. That's wonderful. That kind of broad presence and awareness is a huge advantage, both to getting people to organically go find your material, but also when it comes to your advertising. That person is more likely to click on your advertising when they've had awareness from you on other touch points than
Yes.
if they just see your advertising and you're just another ad. So the benefit that I have is I get on media. I do podcasts. I do talk shows. I've been on, television morning shows and morning radio shows, and I do speak on stages and at conventions and at associations. So between social, I guess the ultimate answer is I don't look at social as the only thing. I think there are certainly people who can just do social when you have a huge following already and do very well. I see social as one touch point in a broad range of ways that I can touch people, because not everybody's on social. There are a lot of people out there who are not on TikTok and not on Instagram, but I still want to reach, and I might reach those people through a podcast or through a talk show or on a stage. And I see them all co-influencing each other.
Amazing. Kind of break that down a little bit more so I can really understand what you're saying.
Break down the co-influencing of different touch points. So let's say
because I understand what you said about touch points, because in fact Google themselves did a study before. They said before someone can actually buy from you on social media, they have to watch at least 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points as you said, over 4 different social media platforms. So this was the study that Google did. So yeah,
I dabbled in some internet marketing back in like 2009. It was easy. Not easy, but easier. I wrote a book, and I had a news program do a piece on me, like a minute and a half on the evening news for this book that I wrote, and sold like 1,000 copies of the book in 15 minutes. People just saw the news program. The news program put the website up. They went to the website. It was just a website. This is before Facebook advertising and everything, right? It was just a website, and they went to the website and clicked buy. Like, that's people in 2009 would do that. Now they've just been so saturated with advertising on every platform about everything from exercise to supplements of every kind. And we've just, people were already skeptical about advertising. We're all natural skeptics when it comes to advertising, but the internet has created its own problem of skepticism, because the proliferation of products and advertising and selling on the internet of so many things that don't work and are bad and break and don't provide the value that they promise, people are just like, you need to earn somebody's trust for a long time before they're willing to click buy. And there are multiple ways to do that. So yes, seeing 15 hours of video on 4 different platforms, if somebody's willing to keep engaging in your videos and keep engaging in your videos to the point where they feel like what you're talking about, whatever it is valuable enough that they continue coming back for it, that helps in converting them to a customer. But also, credibility goes beyond the internet. There's still a credibility in the book world that's interesting, because in prior to 2010, 11, there was still no credibility for self-published books. You remember when Kindle first came out and people go, oh, self-published. And buyers still wanted their book to be published by Penguin and Houghton Mifflin and Random House to think it was a good book. And now buyers have largely gotten over that when it comes to nonfiction. They know that there are 1 million nonfiction books out there, experts in their fields, writing books going directly on Kindle that are not going through a publisher, and the books are excellent. Less so in fiction. People are still more reticent in self-published fiction, but it has grown tremendously. Way beyond what any of the big publishers thought it would. 15 years ago, there are self-published authors out there selling 1 million books a year, or making $1 million a year, selling 100,000 books a year. through Kindle, which nobody ever thought was possible. So that's building in nonfiction or in fiction. But in nonfiction, people totally trust nonfiction self-publishing now. And so when they see your book out there on Amazon, that's a similar touch point as to watching a video on TikTok or Instagram. And then if they see you on a podcast, they go, oh, their brain thinks, well, one of the things, so there's that guy again, like that guy's out there, but the brain also thinks, oh, somebody on a podcast felt that this material was valuable enough to put on their podcast and share with their customers. So even if they watch it or not, it tells them other people see value in what you're doing. When people see a magazine article with your name quoted in it, they go, oh, there's more value to that. When people see you on the television news, oh, there's more value to that. And the idea is that you're not going to ever get the audience you want only going in one arena. Like the Kardashians are huge on television, but they still made their fortune on Instagram, right? So branching yourself out across different modalities allows you to connect with your audience in multiple ways, which both allows you to share your wisdom, your knowledge, whatever it is that you have to share. For me, it's the fast way in personal transformation to achieve ultimate success. But whatever it is that somebody's sharing, the more you show your audience that other people are finding value in your audience by having you on their talk show, on their podcast, publishing your book, it creates more awareness and more of that trust that you talked about going across the bridge, where the first step to me having a client is that client trusting me enough to click yes and say I'm in. And it's the advantage of me speaking to rooms of CEOs. I get 3 hours to present my material to them. Those 3 hours in that room build the trust that make them hire me for $50,000. I don't have those 3 hours in a room in person with people who are across the globe. So I have social media and TikTok videos and Instagram videos and Facebook videos and LinkedIn videos and YouTube videos and my book and my podcast and your podcast and other arenas to build that trust. But ultimately, what all of that is for, it's for building enough trust and then delivering on the trust that you've built when somebody says, yes, I want to do it.
Definitely. As you said, the trust, the people in the industry, they say that they term it as social media is in a trust recession. And, at the end of the day, that's what people need. They need to get to know you first,
Yeah,
exactly. Whatever the medium is,
because people took advantage of it. People took advantage of that relationship. Look, coming out of the television business, the one thing I know is true in the television business and always has been, is that the television networks highly recognize the value of what it has always meant for 60 years for the viewer to invite you into their living room. That's how television looked at their product. They said the viewer is inviting us into their living room. We are a guest in their living room. And all the early and still the great television producers look at the relationship in that way. And they strive to provide content that honors that relationship. You have invited me into your living room. And a lot of the content on some streaming networks, and certainly a ton of the content on your phone, has not lived up to that promise. People get things in their face that do not come from the standard of, we honor the fact that you have invited us into your world. It's more like, here, let me blast anything into your world that I can, whether it's of value to you or not. And that has broken down trust. And so the uphill battle for anybody who is really trying to provide something of value to people is not just to get them to believe that what I have is of value, but to overcome the lack of trust that has come from too many other people who aren't providing value or who are trying to take advantage of them. You have to overcome the lack of trust built by others in order to establish trust with yourself. And again, the fast way, I don't look at any of that as an impediment. I don't look at it as a detriment. I don't complain about it. I don't wish it were different. I look at my potential clients exactly where they are. If you are a person who has lost trust in the value of people like me across the internet and across the ocean saying I can help you, it's my job to rebuild that back. And that's why I come on and spend this kind of time with you, which I'm so grateful for. You have invited me into your living room today, and I recognize that. And I hope I've worked hard to honor that trust from you, to both provide you with value for your podcast and provide your viewers with value by sharing this podcast with them, and provide those people with the value that I provide through the Fast Way to make them curious enough to go to livethefastway.com and find out if it's going to work for them, because it's my job to reestablish that relationship.
Amazing, Ken. Amazing, Ken. I think we've kind of come full circle here in terms of what we've been speaking about.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you this to kind of end it. Where can the people go to find out and learn more about what you do?
Go to livethefastway.com. At livethefastway.com, you'll see some video testimonials. You'll read a lot of printed testimonials of the clients that I've helped and served. And you'll also see a couple of links there, a link to get the video course and a link to get the video course with the monthly online coaching. I do want to say for your viewers, I created a discount code. If they go to livethefastway.com and they'll see the prices there. I can say the prices now online if you want, but I usually don't say them on the podcast, only because if it ever changes, then they'll watch an old podcast video and the prices will be different. But I'll say this: when you go and you see the prices for the video and the monthly online coaching, and you click that you want it, and you go through the checkout process, you enter your name and your email and click submit, and it'll take you to the checkout form. There'll be a coupon code box there. Enter the code FAST50, the number 50, FAST 50, FAST50, and you'll get 50% off anything that you purchase, 50% off the video course, 50% off the monthly online coaching. And the 50% off the monthly online coaching is not an introductory 50% off. It's an in perpetuity 50% off. I do like to throw a little mud at Ryan Reynolds, who I love, and Mint Mobile, because if you've ever seen the Mint Mobile ads, for years he's been saying $15 a month. It's a high premium cellular service. Why go pay the big guys more when you can have it for $15 a month? And then it comes up the fine print. It says for the first 3 months, and then you're paying the same price as everybody else. This is not 50% off for the first month or for a 2-week trial or for the first 2 months. For as long as you stay in the course, even if the prices go up, you will get this price at 50% off forever. So it's really out there because I want to show people that it is my job to earn your trust. And one of the ways I do that is by making the course super, super affordable, so affordable that when you look at it, you'll say to yourself, if I don't take advantage of this, I'm losing more than I'm saving. I want you to click yes, because I really want you to know that you're getting more than you're giving. The investment in yourself for the video course and the monthly online coaching is going to pay off so extraordinarily, so tenfold, 20-fold, so fast. And I can say that because I didn't just launch the course from scratch. I've been providing this value to the CEOs and business owners who run multi-tens of millions of dollars of companies, and I've seen it work for them. So I know it's going to work for you at a price point that really makes sense for anybody, anywhere. So please go to livethefastway.com or find me at Ken Goldie on LinkedIn. You can find me at Ken Goldie on Facebook. You can find me at breakthroughleadershiptraining.com also on Facebook and also on Instagram, and at Ken Goldie on TikTok, and livethefastway.com, or just email me at ken@breakthroughleadershiptraining.com and tell me what you're looking for. But come live the fast way. It will change your life. I promise it will. I'm so excited for you because it's now affordable to everybody. And I guarantee you, whoever watching this podcast right now, a year from now, all you're going to be hearing is the fast way everywhere. And you're going to want to say, I got in on it at the ground level. So go to livethefastway.com and join me, because it's an amazing experience.
Amazing, amazing. This has been great. And thank you for coming on, Ken. Hopefully we can have you on some other time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?